everybody, and welcome to my very first tarot lesson. I wanted to finally start talking tarot on the Tarot with Tasha channel. I mean, the channel is called Tarot with Tasha, so it really doesn't make sense that I haven't done a real tarot video yet. So this is it. So this is going to be lesson 1. We're going to begin by just learning a little bit about the way the cards are, the two sections of the deck, the Major and Minor Arcana, what they are, what they mean, and then maybe we'll begin with going through the decks. I want to start with the minor because I think there's a lot in the Minor Arcana that relates more to everyday life. So I think that it'll be easier for a beginner to actually begin there instead of the major, which of course are those cards that we're familiar with, that you see in movies and all of that. But these cards are more about our day-to-day life, and I think that they're easier to relate to. So I feel like we'll begin there. I wanted to also talk to you about how I got started in tarot. So my aunt Donna, who I love and adore, who is she's like my mom in a lot of ways. I mean, she's a wonderful person, and she's a tarot reader. She's read tarot for a really long time. And when I was a kid, she used to tell me stories about these different readings that she would do and people that she would meet. And it just really inspired me, intrigued me. I always wanted to be like my witchy aunt, I guess. Like, she always just knew things. She would kind of say things off the hop that would surprise you. And I always wanted to kind of embody that myself. So after a while, growing up, she never really offered to teach me or anything, but she was always just kind of willing to answer my questions and stuff. So that was fine. And I was always interested in the cards. And then when I was 15, I went to a tarot party, or a Halloween party, sorry, and there was a tarot reader there, and her name was Anne, and she was absolutely amazing. Like, I walked in, it's kind of a stereotypical story, but this is how it went down. I went to the party, and then everyone was going like one by one in turn to get their readings done and go talk to the tarot reader. So when it was my turn, I went down this dark hallway, and there was this woman. She was in her probably 50s, and at the time she had long hair. She was just beautiful, like beautiful. She had this beautiful sparkling jewelry on and a shawl, and I just remember her sitting there bathed in the candlelight, and just like at that moment I was like, I want to be this. Like, this is a goal, and I set that goal then and at that point. So I went for my reading, and oddly enough, she said to me, I have a feeling that you're interested in this, or that you have some form of gift, or, you want to learn tarot. And I said, absolutely. And she said, well, listen, I get a good vibe from you. I feel like you're honest about your interest and that you're truly interested in learning about the cards. So she said, I want to teach someone what I learned and what I know. And then, because I'm getting to a point where I can't do this anymore, but I want to share my knowledge, and my kids aren't interested. So this chance meeting, I shouldn't have even been at that Halloween party, but I was, and this chance meeting led to a complete life change for me. Like, it literally changed my life. So after that, I met with her at her apartment once a month, usually around the full moon is when we would schedule it, and I would go through the cards with her, and one at a time we went through the cards. And I'm going to teach you the cards exactly how she taught me, adding my own spin and my own takes, of course. I didn't pay money to learn how to read the cards. She offered this for free, which is why I'm offering this course for free. I don't want to charge money for this because I feel like it's something that, I don't know, I just don't feel right, I guess, charging money for this. So I want to share with you what I learned and how Anne taught me, and we're going to do it in the same kind of format. So we're going to begin this lesson by breaking the tarot into two and looking at the major and the minor to begin with. So I would recommend to you, if you're just starting out, to get the Rider-Waite Smith deck. So I guess we'll begin there. This isn't scripted. I have no notes. I have no, nothing. I'm going off the top of my head, just willy-nilly, winging it. That's how I've done everything in life. So I'm going to do this. So it's going to be a little bit mixed up, and I'm hope to have this a little bit more polished as we go. But where this is the first lesson, it could be a little wild. So just bear with me. So back on topic, the Rider-Waite. This is the Rider-Waite tarot deck. You've probably seen this, or own this, or know someone who owns it. Honestly, whether you like the kind of primary colors or not, the basic images, I highly recommend to you to buy this deck. Because if you can read the Rider-Waite, you can pretty much read any other deck. A lot of decks that are newer or art decks are Rider-Waite clones. So they look very similar to this. If you can read this, you can read them. And it's a lot easier to read this to start off with, because the symbolism, I always say symbology, but someone told me that's not a word. So symbolism of these cards is kind of ingrained in us. So a lot of this, like for example, I'm going to use the death card, for example. Gotta get to number 13, death card. Okay, skeleton. Immediately you think of death. If this did not say death, you would look at this and go, ooh, that's probably a death card, you know. The symbology, those skulls and crossbones that you can see there on the horse, the red-eyed horse, the dead people, like everything about the card, it just speaks death. Same as this card. If you don't see the name, well, it kind of looks like a magician. It looks like someone who's sitting at a table trying to work magic. This looks like a mysterious woman. This looks like a queen or a princess or an empress, so on and so on. So the cards are very easy to read in that sense, because the imagery is just so basic, and it's symbolism that we have seen and been around all the time. It's in our media, it's everywhere. So I highly recommend to you to get the Rider-Waite deck. Now, there are versions of this that have better coloring. There's revisions and different things like that. So if you can't connect with these kind of stark basic colors, there are options for you, but I really think you should begin with the Rider-Waite. This is the first deck I learned on. Like physically, this is the deck. I bought this when I was 15 years old. It's been with me all these years. I've been reading with it and letting other people shuffle it and all that craziness. So it's kind of warped, it's kind of dirty, but to me, that's the sign of a good card reader. If you go to a card reader and you see that their cards are worn and a little bit dirty, well, at least you know that person spent a lot of time with their cards. So spend time with your cards. Shuffle them, love them, and make them a part of you. These cards here on the ends with the aces, this is called the Minor Arcana. Now, the Minor Arcana, that is little secrets or little mysteries, where the Major Arcana is big secrets, big mysteries. So when we talk Major Arcana, we're talking like our spirit. We're talking about religion, faith. We're talking about the afterlife, big choices, just traditions, all of these big things. So big secrets, big aspects of your life. If you do a reading for someone and you have a lot of these, well, then you know that they've got a lot of kind of deeper, bigger issues. There's more going on than maybe they're letting you know. So Major Arcana are big secrets. We're going to set these guys aside for right now, because this will be I'm going to be breaking the lessons with the major kind of into sections. So we're going to just set these guys over here, and we're going to focus on these guys for this first lesson. So this is the Minor Arcana, little mysteries, little secrets. These are day-to-day life. Pentacles, your pentacles represent earth, and they represent like your home, your house, how you make your money, paying your bills, your family, just your day-to-day life, like just every day, day-to-day. This is like we're balancing, we're trying to save money, we're working as a team, you're saving, you're thinking, you're balanced. Okay, so, and we're going to go through all of these cards, don't worry, one by one, but I just want to show you how you can see that. So when you see pentacles, you want to think home, money, family, day-to-day life, really earthy. So what aspects of your life make you feel earthy? What aspects of your life kind of connect you to just being human? That's what the pentacle suit is. I also want to add here that the decks come with little books, and my tarot teacher told me to just get rid of the book. Don't even read it. Don't even look at it until you've already gone through the cards yourself and determined what they mean to you. No matter what, I don't care how other people think or how other people say this, but in my mind and how I learn the cards is that you need to trust your gut. Your gut is right. Your interpretation of these cards is right. Doesn't matter if it's the complete opposite of what some author told you. You need to remember that. So don't focus on your book. Don't focus about memorizing it, because I really feel like your first impressions of these cards will be right on anyways. So cups. Cups are our emotions. They're our feelings. They are love and sadness and grief and our spirituality a little bit too. Healing. Healing of the body, like this card, a nice healing card. So births, relationships, how you get along with other people. This part of the deck makes you think about your choices and how you react to your emotions and how you spend time with your friends. So cups are your emotions. They're water. So when you see these cards, think about emotions. Think about how you feel, how water makes you feel, all of that kind of fluid, lovey-dovey, that kind of stuff. That's what you're going to find in the cup spread. So cups, water, love, feelings, emotion, all of that. So that's part of us as people, right? Our emotions and our feelings. So that's what the cups are here to tell you about. They want you to focus on your feelings. Our swords. Now this is kind of a little bit of a darker spread, and it makes sense to me because, or darker deck, I should say. Swords are our mind, and as everybody knows, our thoughts are not always pleasant. So the swords really represent that. They also represent parts of our lives that we may need to change or deal with, or struggles that we may come across, stuff like that. So that's swords. Swords are sharp. So swords are to the point. Swords aren't going to, like, cups are going to be gentle and nurturing, and they're going to tell you what's wrong, but they're going to do it in a way like, oh, you know, you can fix it this way, and you're doing great, but you could change here. Where swords are going to blatantly show you an image that's going to scare you and make you really make the change. So our swords are very honest. So swords are air, or swords, like, they swoosh through the air is how it was explained to me. So swords are air. Air is communication, the breath of life, how we think, our minds. All of that is what we get when we get involved with the sword suit. So swords, think mind, think your thoughts. So immediately you see this lady, and she's got her swords covering her heart in a blindfold. So obviously she must be closing off her thoughts to someone. She's not communicating clearly. The Three of Swords, a pierced heart. I mean, this again goes back to that imagery that we know that's embedded in us. So you see a pierced heart in this rainy day, immediately you think heartache, heartbreak, breakups, and that's what this card can be about. So here's an image that, you know, a person that didn't listen, they're overdoing it, and now they're kind of being forced to rest. So it's kind of manipulation, stealing, or it could mean like taking on a lot, like you're taking from others. Sorry about that, guys. My phone decided it didn't have enough storage because I was talking too much. So back to this. So back here. So swords, they're our mind, our thoughts. Taking on too much. You're kind of, you got a lot on your plate and you're looking for more. Closing yourself off to others. Letting your thoughts rule your life. Look how used up this card is. This is a very popular card. We've got a lot of people that worry that like to come to see me. So again, there's the swords, not pussyfooting. Like, there you go. Point is blank. Point blank. So there's your swords. So swords are your mind, your thoughts, your breath, your communication, how you talk, air. Then we have wands, and they're the suit of fire. So when we think fire, we think our passion, our drive, what makes us who we are, what causes us to get stuff done, the reason we get up in the morning. All of that kind of stuff is going on here with the wands. So goals, ideas. This guy, he's kind of pondering like, what do I want to do next? It's time to make a big step. Going on journeys, marriage, life changes, passion, like passages of time. Stuff like that shows up in our wands. Victories and standing up for yourself. Traveling. This is such a weird card. Travel, that's what it means, but it's a weird card. So wands are your fire and your passion and kind of all of those things, your spirit, what makes you you, what makes you unique. The wand suit kind of covers that. Personally, I love the wands and I love cups. They're my favorite, I think. Swords freak me out. And I'm just so far from being an earthy person in the sense, like, I am not grounded, I am not level-headed, I am not logical, like, I am up in the clouds all the time, so I have a hard time sometimes connecting with pentacles. I hope you guys can't hear me slurping on this straw back here. I'm drinking a mango smoothie. It's friggin' delicious. So, now that you know what these mean, so again, swords are air, they're your thoughts. Wands are fire, your spirit. Earth is your body. Pentacles, your body, your money, your day-to-day life, earthy things. And then your cups are your spirit, and your emotions and your feelings, and a little bit of your spirit in a religious sense, where this is more your spirit in the sense of your lust for life, if you will. So now we're going to take a peek at the number 1. So, of course, 1, it's a number of, it's like individualism, it's a fresh start, it's the beginning. So when you see aces, it's kind of a new beginning. So that's kind of a key word. They show up in a reading. They're going to probably indicate that this person you're reading for is about to make some form of change, or they're about to do something different with their lives, or about to embark on a new adventure. So with this one, what do you think? How does that make you feel? Like, how do you feel about the Ace of Swords? How do you connect with this? So we have the hand of God. That's what that means. And I always tell people, and I tell my clients too, when I say the hand of God, I mean, that could be God, goddess, rocks, trees, aliens, like, I don't care. The Christian God, whatever God is to you, could even be yourself, but it's the hand of God giving you this gift, a new beginning with how you communicate, how you think. It's also a victory. So say we were doing a reading for someone who was having some mental health issues and this card showed up. Well, that would make me feel like that person, through their spirit or through their connection to a higher source, perhaps that is bringing them a victory when it comes to their mental health. So maybe they're about to have a breakthrough or something good's going to happen. I would advise them, maybe you need to talk to someone else because it's coming from an outside influence, whether it's spirit or it's a counselor. So there's definitely some help being offered. There's a peace offering happening here. These are little blessings, so blessings from spirit. So I would tell you, keep your eyes open for little signs that you're on the right path. Swords are air. So I would say birds, butterflies, even insects, stuff like that. So whatever you kind of connect with, a lot of people connect with butterflies, for example. So maybe they're going to see a bunch of butterflies around, or maybe you're someone that connects with cardinals, something like that. So it's all about kind of thinking about the element that it represents and then the meaning behind the card. So that's kind of how I feel. We have some mountains. When you see mountains and hills in the tarot, they represent struggles. And you're kind of on top of them here. So this is more in the foreground and this is in the background. So it just shows me that your struggles are behind you. So you're obviously about to embark on something very positive. Something good's about to happen when it comes to your mental health. So all of the cards are like that. So this is a new beginning when it comes to love and relationships. This is also healing. It's an offering of healing. So if you've been physically ill, or you've had a problem, or maybe you're dealing with some heartache, or maybe you're dealing with fertility issues or something like this. This card showed up. Well, we've got the womb of the Virgin Mary receiving the Holy Spirit, Immaculate Conception. So something is being conceived, something is happening, something is growing. This is also your creativity. Cups are very creative. They're your creative side. So this could be a new project coming forth. This could be you kind of get your startup going. This could be you learning your tarot cards and finally embarking on this journey. It's something like that. So just see that aces, one, new beginning. And it's the same for these guys. This could be a new career, if I start with a career. And this one, I tell people, somehow I always get the vibe that I say to people a lot, like, are you finding coins? Are you finding dimes? Stuff like that. Because I find when this card shows up, they're the people that are getting little gifts from God in that way, or spirit in that way. This one, maybe it's time to start going for your passion. Maybe it's time to start realizing your dreams. Do you want to live in that castle far away? Do you want to have that happen? Well, it's time to get off your ass and get going. Wands are lighting the fire under your ass. And then we're going to go, and I'm going to do up to 3, I think, and then we'll call it a day for today, and then we'll keep going, and I'll give you a little bit of homework. So 2s. 2 is the number of relationships, duality, balance, light and dark, all of that kind of stuff. So you gotta, that's another little tip. So numbers are kind of a big deal in the tarot. Numbers are definitely something you should pay attention to because it'll give you little clues. So with this one, the 2 of Swords, well, we definitely have something going on here and here. So I see the duality is that you're closing off your eyes and you're closing off your heart. So when I see this card, it kind of makes me feel like it's time to start sharing. It's time to open up. Are you carrying a lot of weight on your shoulders? Are you afraid to open up? Do you have a wall up that's preventing other people from coming in? In a love reading, I would say that you're being too closed. Look how old these guys are. I love that. You're being too closed off. You're not being open enough to the possibilities of love, and maybe you're being too harsh on potential suitors. It's not about settling, but it's about being realistic, and that's what this card's about. So it's time to be more realistic. It's time to open up. And in other readings, this can mean that you need to close up. You need to kind of protect yourself a little bit. Tarot changes based on the cards that are around it, but I promise you, the more you go through your cards, the more you look at these images, the more time you spend with them, the easier that will be. 2 of Wands. So again, we've got some form of choice going on here. This is about, do you or don't you want to move to the next level? So this is about getting out of your comfort zone. It's like you've got the world in your hands. So you've got a lot of opportunities coming your way, but you're kind of not taking the time to act on it. So you've got your accomplishments in the past, you've got accomplishments here in the present, and it's kind of like, well, where do you want to do next? So this is about getting off your butt. You'll see throughout the cards that there's a theme with these white lilies and these red roses. Red roses are love and the white lilies are inspiration and ideas. That's how I interpret them. That's how I was taught. You may see it differently, and that's okay too. This one, a relationship, obviously. 2 people are talking. So I would feel like with this, that it could be a nice balance between 2 people. You're in a relationship where you can talk and be open and honest, and you can kind of, you can just kind of get to know the other person and share. All of that's going on. We have a symbol for health here, so I definitely see this as an omen of good healing. You know, you're getting help from others. It's not something you can do alone, so seek medical help or seek the help from somebody else. But definitely a nice healing card, a great relationship card, and a love reading. And then we have the 2 of Pentacles. So this is kind of, I always feel like a hypocrite when this comes up because it's about budgeting and balancing. That's how I see it. Do you were an idiot maybe? He's got the dunce hat on. In the past, you weren't very smart about it. And in the past, you kind of put yourself through these big waves. And these waves, like mountains, are struggles. And when the water's rocky, it's emotional stress. So you've had emotional stress, and that's kind of coming from your money problems. So it's time to kind of balance that out, and it's time to focus on your money problems. So maybe it's time to budget. I tell people, like, you might want to budget, you might want to be cautious with your spending, watch what you're doing, that kind of stuff. So I think I'm actually going to stop it here because I don't want this video to get too long, and then we will continue through with the 3s and the 4s in the next video. Maybe we'll even get into the 5s. But what I'd like you to do for your homework, which is this is what was always assigned to me, is that I want you to take one of these cards from the aces and the 2s, and I want you to spend some time with that card. So I want you to, if you decide you're going to pick the Ace of Cups as your card to study, then I want you to study that card. I want you to learn about it. I want you to always put your intuition and your first impressions first, of course. I want you to sleep with the card, carry it with you. I want you to pull it out and look at it as much as you can. And I just want you to, when you meet people, think about how that relates. So how does the Ace of Cups meet? Do you know someone who's like an awesome mom? And when you think about them, they make you think about motherhood, and that kind of makes you think about them. Or do you know someone who's very spiritual, and that makes you think of that? So start applying people you know to your cards. Same as like with this guy. Do you know a couple that's really, really happy? Like couple goals, like Morticia and Gomez for me. Connect it with people you know. Connect the cards with your own life and the people that are in your life and the people that you meet, because I promise it's going to be so much easier for you to learn the cards. Spend time with your deck. I highly recommend a Rider-Waite if you want to continue with this little course with me. And but you can use any deck you want, because like I say, a lot of them are clones of the Rider-Waite. And I hope you enjoyed this quick little introduction, and we will continue to learn the cards together. So happy card learning, happy card slinging, and enjoy living with your card for the next little while. I would continue to do this until you at least get through all of your aces and your twos, and then we'll keep going. So good luck, and I really think that you're going to get a lot out of this. I hope you do anyways, and thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you have a great day. Bye.